Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf for IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Red Alert Lab. This is the video number 50. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have started a new series of videos to discuss the securing of the Microsoft Edge based on the recommendations of the Department of Defense and the Defense Information System Agency of the United States. We have discussed the previous video a lot of recommendations concerning securing Microsoft Edge and why we use Edge, not other browsers, and what are the benefits of using Microsoft Edge compared to other browsers, why we use in specific Microsoft Edge. We have stopped the last time at this recommendation. Let's begin. We have stopped at this recommendation the last time: importing of autofill forum data must be disabled. What is autofill? Okay, it's an option in all of the browsers that allow the browser to fill some data automatically instead of the user. So for example, if you are signing into or you are creating a user, for example on Facebook, or creating users on different websites, there is some data to be filled. Sometimes they need your first name, your last name, the address. All of these are stored in the browser and it will be automatically filled for you. These fields will be filled for you. This is number one. And actually sometimes you can save the username and password for different websites and he will autofill it for you. Okay, so this is the autofill. Okay, it's a very dangerous option. You will see later that we will disable saving of passwords and we will also disable autofill. Okay, so he's saying here importing of autofill forum data must be disabled. The autofill, okay, this saved data that will be filled for you, it can be imported to other browsers. So for example, if I am using the autofill option on my Microsoft Edge, so I can take all of the data saved in the autofill option in the Microsoft Edge and import to Chrome. So Chrome after that can fill the same data when these websites are browsed through it, and the same will be done for the Firefox and the same will be done to any browser. He is saying that allow users to import autofill forum data from other browser into Edge. Okay, so for example you can take the data or the autofilled data in the Chrome and import it to the Microsoft Edge. Let's see a little bit of an explanation. What is autofill? Microsoft Edge autofill. What? Let's see, what is Microsoft Edge autofill? Autofill, the way you want to enter your name, set up Microsoft autofill setting, the way you want to enter your name, address and other information in forums online. So it is basically will help you to fill forums online on websites to be filled automatically for you. Okay, so this is the basic option for autofill, and actually autofill also can fill your username and passwords and your credit card numbers. Actually, if you need to edit your credit to type your credit card number, it will be filled automatically for you using the autofill. So let's see what is how does Edge have autofill, how do I get rid of autofill. Okay, anyway, so this is a basic explanation of what autofill does. It is the way you want to enter your name, address and other information in forums online. So it is basically concerned to fill fields in forums that are displayed online in the websites. Okay, your name, your address, your other information. So this is basically what autofill does. You can, so here this group policy says that this data or the data filled by the autofill option can be imported to other browsers, or okay, like Chrome or so and so. So for example, if I can show you here my Brave browser, if you go to the setting, okay, there is something here will be called autofill. Let's go further additional setting. So it's something called autofill. Here we can see that it can autofill passwords, payment methods, addresses, or more. So here we can autofill my passwords and usernames, my payment methods if I have a credit card number or so, addresses or more if you can fill your addresses or more. Here is my address. It is saved automatically and it can be filled or it can be typed automatically for me when I, for example, need to type my address. Here it is saved and it will be filled automatically for me for any forums or any forums I fill online. Okay, an application forum for a university, an application forum for a job, whatsoever. Okay, so this is, here is saying that again, this data, let me get again to this one, the autofill data, or let's see here, for example, addresses. These data, the autofill data, can be imported from my Brave browser, for example, to my Chrome browser or Firefox or Edge, so on. So I can import this setting. For example, let's do a little bit of an explanation here. If, for example, if we go to the Microsoft Edge and we need to import this data, let me show you all how we can do this. So if you open the Edge browser and we go there, okay, and we go to the setting, we can go here for the, let's go here for appearance, let's setting system performance, let's type here auto fill. Okay, here we can see that there is import browser data. Let's wait for a moment. So here, no, let me show you not to do this one. Okay, here you can see that these are import browser data. Here we can import browser data. What we can import? We can import passwords. We can choose what to import. Let's choose what to import here. You can import all of these saved passwords, home setting, browser history. All of these can be personal payment info, the one that I have showed you all in the autofill option, personal info, the one that I've showed you in Brave browser. So all of this can be imported here to my Brave browser, to my Edge browser from my Brave browser. Okay, so this can be done. So we need to disable the option of importing auto-filled data in the browser. Okay, so this is very important because a user can, for example, use a Chrome browser and take the filled data in it and import it to the Edge browser. Okay, so this is a little bit of a security issue. Okay, we should not use this. Okay, here is saying that we need to disable autofill option. Okay, so the user could not take his passwords or import or export his passwords and take it outside. For example, if he is in a production environment, he can export his passwords from passwords and personal data from the browser he is working in or working on in his work and put it on his laptop in his home environment. Okay, so this is a security issue. We should not enable import and export, by the way. Okay, so let's continue. We need to go and configure this option. So to go Microsoft Edge, allow importing of autofill forum data must be disabled. So to go to computer configuration, administrative templates, Microsoft Edge, allow importing of autofill forum data, then disable. Okay, so this is Microsoft Edge, and allow autofill. Let's wait for a moment. Okay, we need to wait because there is a lot of group policies here, so we need to read it and or to search for it. So here I'm trying to find, yes, here is allowing importing of autofill forum data. We need to disable. Okay, and then the next recommendation is to importing of browser setting must be disabled. Allow user to import browser setting from another browser into Microsoft Edge. So this is as I said before, you can import not only the autofill options or the autofilled data, but you can import your history, you can import your favorites, you can import your let's see, import any other thing. So for example, if I go to my Edge again, if I go there, let's show you all, I will show you all again what I mean by this. You go there and open setting, okay, and then this is the setting. Here you can import browser data. If you click here, you can import from other browsers, import passwords, and import other browsers setting. What are the settings here that can be imported? You can import favorites and bookmarks, saved password, search engines, personal info, payment info, browsing data, cookies of the website's homepage, your default homepage, and the setting. Here is the setting. I don't know what exactly he mean by the setting here, but I think the setting may be the theme or the preferences of the other browsers. Anyway, open tabs, extensions. Your extensions that are using on the Chrome can be imported to the Edge. So this is why we need to disable something like this, because the user can get his preferences on his browser in the production environment and import it to his laptop in his home environment. Some of these settings maybe contains sensitive data, something your favorites, your history, and all of these is sensitive data, should not be imported to other browsers. Okay, so this is one of the things. Let me for example do this and leave it there so we use it later. So we should not allow importing of browser setting, okay, because for example if you have some extensions on his Chrome browser, okay, maybe these extensions are harmful, so we should not import it to our Microsoft Edge browser, for example. Okay, so here need to disable importing of browser setting. Okay, this is one of the things. And then importing of cookies. We have seen that we can import cookies from a couple of seconds. We need also to disable importing of cookies, okay, because maybe some harmful websites have some cookies saved to the browser. We should not import it again to another browser. Okay, so this is the cookies. I think let me show you all what we mean by, and extensions. We all know what are extensions. These are small programs or small functions that are added to the browser to make it to have more functionality. For example, you can, for example, in Microsoft Edge, add an extension to download YouTube videos, or to add an extension to add a calculator or something like this. But let me see first, or let me try to search for something. What is, or let's close this setting. What is cookies? Okay, we all know what is cookies, but okay, cookies are small pieces of information websites store on your computer. Cookies only contain bits of text, not anything else. The text can be user ID, session ID, or other text. So this is the cookies of the websites. Okay, so this is a brief explanation about the cookie. Let's see what is an extension also, if you need to know what is an browser extension. A browser extension is a small software module for customizing a web browser. Browser typically allow a variety of extensions, including user interface modifications, cookie management and blocking, and custom scripting and styling of websites. So these are small programs or small software that allow you to customize your browser, add more functionality to it, add more programs to it, something like to download YouTube videos or so, to customize the interface, make it more colorful or something. So this what are extensions and what are the cookies. We need to disable importing of cookies from other browsers and to import of extensions from other browsers, because some of these cookies and some of these extensions may be harmful to our machine. For example, the user should not import his cookies and his extensions from his browser on his laptop to the browser on his production environment PC. This could be a vulnerability or to be a security point, okay? Because some of these extensions and cookies may be harmful, okay? So you need to disable allow importing of extensions. So this is one of the things. And then let's continue. Yes, and importing of browsing history. Okay, this is also one thing, okay? We need also to disable importing of browsing history, okay? And importing of homepage setting, okay? The same, the user can import his homepage setting. He can change the production browser homepage by by importing his laptop homepage, okay? So this is not a thing to do, okay? And importing of open tabs, the same. Open tabs, these are, let me show you all what we mean by a tab, okay? So if you see this browser, this is called the tab. When I open this is another tab. So you can browse different websites on the same window, okay? This is called a tab. So here you say that open tabs on a browser like Chrome. So for example, if I'm opening 5 or 6 open tabs here in the Chrome and I need to import it to the Edge, this can be done, okay? So also we don't need to do this. This is something related to the privacy of the user and also security matter. So sometime, for example, if you are in a sensitive environment, something like Department of Defense or something, you can import the websites they are visiting by importing the open tabs, okay? So this is also one of the things we need to disable, okay? So let's go and continue. Okay, we need to disable importing of open tabs, and we will continue see the other recommendations. For example, importing payment info. Payment info also, this contains your credit card, so you can save your credit card PIN or credit card number, and it will be filled automatically for you when you are trying to purchase something online, for example from Amazon or from online stores, okay? So this is also one of the things. It's very important. Import of saved password, this is also very critical. We should not import passwords from other browsers, okay? So this is also one thing to make. Disable importing of saved passwords, okay? So all of these are very important, and sensitive data should not be imported or exported. Importing of search engines setting must be disabled. What we import of search engine setting, let me see here. So here, for example, you can make your default search engine in your home laptop, or on, for example, if you have a browser on your laptop, you can make your default search engine on your browser on your laptop to be, for example, Ping. But in your production environment, they insist to make your search engine on your browser to be Google Chrome. So importing this will be a problem, okay? So we need to disable also, or you can have a default search engine that it's not secure and you need to import it or use it in your production environment. So this is also one thing to note. We don't need to import search engine setting, okay? Or for example, the search engine setting, you can work with search engine settings that are not or connecting to search engines that are not secure, or connecting to them not through an encrypted connection, okay? So this is also one of the things. This is one of the browser or search engine setting, okay? The next recommendation, importing of shortcuts must be disabled. Allow users to import shortcuts from another browser into Microsoft Edge. I don't know what is shortcuts in Edge, but let's see. Let's try to search here. What is import shortcuts in Edge. Import favorites and sort importing favorites including shortcuts. Okay, I think what is maybe shortcuts is what are keyboard shortcuts in Edge. Okay, so he's saying our combination also. So he mean by shortcuts here that you can make some shortcuts or some keyboard clicks that can do something. For example, if you press Ctrl C, this is a shortcut to copy a file. If you can make a Ctrl V, this is something to paste something. So I think here we can go to the setting here and see what are these shortcuts. Let's see here if you can import shortcuts here, or let's see this option in let's see shortcuts. Just wait for a moment. So here this is about keyboard shortcuts. Okay, this is something like use F12 to open developers. More about keyboard shortcuts. Let's see here if you can go to the website and see what are the shortcuts in Edge. Okay, keyboards are combination of keys that provide an alternative way to do something you would typically do with a mouse. Okay, so this is a shortcut. Okay, some of these shortcuts are Control Shift plus B, show or hide favorites bar, Alt plus Shift plus B. So you can import these shortcuts from one browser to another. Okay, so this is what are by importing shortcuts. Okay, so this is also one of the things we need not to allow to import of shortcuts. Okay, so this is also, all of these are to protect your data that you are working on through a browser. Okay, your visited websites, your auto-filled data, your personal info, your payment info. Autoplay must be disabled. Okay, so some websites, when you visit them and there is a video in this website, it will be played automatically, or it will be auto-played. This should be disabled because some websites contain, or their videos contain, a malware or a virus, especially suspicious or malicious websites. So we need to disable this option. Okay, autoplay must be disabled. Set the media auto policy for websites. So we need to disable this kind of thing. We need to disable autoplay of media on websites. Okay, or on web auto media on websites. Okay, so this is it. So let's continue. Let's go further. Allow media autoplay for websites. We need to disable this option. The same we have done this in the Windows actually also. Disable autoplay for DVD or USB media. Okay, so this is also disabled. We need to continue working and see the other recommendations. Web USB, this is another option. I didn't know that it is already existing. Some set why the websites can access connected USBs. So you have a USB connected to your laptop and you're accessing a website. Some websites can access your connected USB on your laptop. Okay, so he's saying here, set why the websites can access connected USB devices. Access can be blocked completely, or the user asked each time a website wants to get access to a connected USB device. Okay, USB device could be a flash, or could be, for example, USB camera or USB mouse, or I think it's also sometimes related to the camera if you have a connected USB camera, or USB webcam, for example. Okay, so this is what we mean by this. So we need to disable something like this. So we need to tell him web USB must be disabled. Okay, so let's search for this. Okay, it's a little bit here. It is something, let's see the name, content setting. Okay, and yes, this is the one, control use of web USB API, and we should do not allow any sites to request USB devices accessed via, yes, this is the other one, do not allow any sites to request access to USB devices via the web USB API. Then Google Cast must be disabled. What is Google Cast? Google Cast is a device, I think, that you can publish media to it, or you can distribute it to other devices. Let's see what is Google Cast, because actually I think I don't have a clear thing about it. What is, I know it already, but my language is not helping me to describe it. What is Google Cast? Google Cast can stream content via two methods. Google Cast, it is a proprietary protocol. Okay, it's a protocol or a software developed by Google for playing internet streamed audio and video content on a compatible consumer device. Okay, so you can cast something on the web to devices on your home, something like a TV, something like a mobile, something like this. So what's saying here, that this protocol is used to initiate and control playback of content on digital media players, high definition TVs, and so on. So it is a proprietary protocol developed by Google for playing internet streamed audio video content on compatible consumer devices. Okay, so this is what we mean by Google Cast, or what we mean by Google Cast. Okay, so this is the thing, we need to disable Google Cast because we don't need the user to stream media on our production environment PCs. Okay, so here we need to disable or enable Google Cast to make it disabled. Okay, so we go to Cast and enable Google Cast. We need to disable this option. Okay, so this is one of the things also. Then web Bluetooth API must be disabled. Control whether websites can access nearby Bluetooth devices. So he can access, if you are opening your Bluetooth on your laptop, he can access the devices that this Bluetooth discover. Okay, or what this Bluetooth device is connected to. Okay, so access can be blocked completely, or the site required to ask the user each time it wants to access a Bluetooth device. So this is also not a good option to leave it to the websites. We need to disable accessing to devices using Bluetooth. Okay, so we can connect and tell him control use of web Bluetooth. Do not allow any sites request access to Bluetooth devices via the web Bluetooth API. So this is a thing. Another thing we need to continue, the autofill for credit cards must be disabled. We all know that, as I said before, there is autofill for your payment information. He can fill your credit card number automatically. This should also be disabled because it will be saved to the browser, and if the browser is hacked, your credit card number will be hacked as well. Okay, so we need to disable autofill for credit cards. You need to type it every time and not save it to the browser. Okay, so we need to go Microsoft Edge and disable the saving of credit card numbers. Okay, so he enable autofill for credit card numbers. This should be disabled. Okay, this is for this is because it's a very sensitive data. Okay, autofill for addresses must be disabled. We have seen this before, or we have done it. Autofill of addresses. Also, we should not leave our addresses saved to our browser. This is also personal data. Okay, so we need to disable it. And online revocation checks must be performed. If you enable this policy, Microsoft will perform soft fail online OCPS CRL checks. Soft fail means that if the revocation server can't be reached, the certificate will be considered valid. What is online revocation? What is online revocation? Let's see what is online revocation checks of websites. What is certification revocation and what it should do? I think this is what we mean by certification revocation. Let's see. Certification revocation is the act of invalidating a TLS ESL before its scheduled expiration date. A certification should be revoked immediately when its private key shows signs of being compromised. It should also be revoked when the domain for which it was issued no longer operational. Okay, revoked. This is related to certifications. Okay, how to secure accessing to your sites. So if you are accessing a secure website using HTTPS protocol and TLS over SSL, this uses a certification to secure the connection. So this certificate should be renewed and should be revoked or should be cancelled if the expiration date is reached. So for example, if I'm accessing HTTPS www.google.com, this is a secure Google website, and when I access it, Google gives me a certification. Okay, so it can verifies me, or it can verifies the security of the connection. This certificate is for a certain time. If it's expired, it should be revoked, or it should be cancelled, and or it should be renewed. Okay, so he's saying here that revocation is the act of invalidating a TLS SSL before scheduled expiration date. A certificate should be revoked immediately when its private key shows sign of being compromised. It should also be revoked when the domain for which it was issued is no longer operational. So for example, if you have a certificate from a website that is no longer working, it should be revoked, or it should be cancelled, not to be used. Okay, so certificates are revoked, are stored, called certificate CRL. Anyway, so this is what we mean by revocation. So he's saying that here in this thing, online revocation checks must be performed. So here this option will check, or the browser will check, all of your certifications to access secure websites. If they are valid, they are not expired, the websites that these certifications is issued from are operational and running. So online revocation checks must be performed. Okay, so we'll perform something called online OSCP, or certification revocation list. I think soft fail means if the revocation server can be reached, the certificate will be considered valid. Okay, revocation server can be reached, certificate will consider valid. Anyway, so let's see if we need to enable this policy. Must be set to enabled. So here is checking the certificates to access your secure websites. You need to issue, or this certification should check the date and the website itself, it is there or not. So we need to enable this policy. Okay, so let's continue to the other recommendation. Let's continue working now. Personalize of aids search and news by sending browser history to Microsoft must be disabled. This is what we call by personalizing your surfing experience. So sometimes when you open the Facebook, you can see some ads for some products that you are currently searching for. So for example, if I search Google for a certain type of computer in Google, I will see ads of this computer or advertisements for this computer in my Facebook, on my Edge browser, or on my Google even. So here in personalize of Edge search and news, here the browser of Edge will send your history of searching, for example, certain websites, or your search on some search engines about certain products or certain topics, and he will send it to Microsoft, and then the ads or the advertisements that will be displayed in your browser will be related to your personalized searching or your personal experience. So for example, I said before, I am searching on Google, for example, for a book or for a laptop. This will be sent to Microsoft, okay, and he will know that you are searching for certain laptops, so the browser of Edge will begin displaying advertisements concerning the laptop that you are trying to search for. This policy prevents Microsoft from collecting a user's Microsoft Edge browsing history to be used for personalizing advertisements, search, news, and other Microsoft services. Okay, so we should not, this is sensitive data, especially in a sensitive environment. Your browsing history should not be sent to any third party, especially if you are in a sensitive environment like military environment or something. So this is also should be disabled. Okay, so let's continue and see. We need to disable this kind of option. So I need to see how much time that we are working now. Let's see how much time we have. 36 minutes. Okay, so let's continue. Allow personalize of aids, search and news by sending browser history to Microsoft. Okay, so this is one of the things also we need to take care. Site tracking of a user's location must be disabled. Sometimes, for example, if you are searching Google, or you are trying, or you have open your browser and type www.google.com, he will tell you that you are in the location of Egypt, for example, in Maadi. Okay, he can know your location if you, without anything. This is an option you open in the browser, will allow Google and some websites to know your location. This is also should not be enabled, especially in a sensitive environment. Okay, so why their websites can track physical locations, this should, tracking can be allowed by default, but we should not do this, or denied by default. We need to deny something like this. Okay, some websites may need to track your location. For example, if you are trying to purchase something from Amazon, he needs to know your location so he can send you the things that you have purchased. Okay, this is good for home PCs or laptops, but not in a production environment or in a sensitive environment, especially a military one. Okay, default geolocation setting, we will tell him to disable. Do not allow any site to track my location. Okay, so do not any site to track the user's physical location. So something this like this should be disabled. And then browser history must be saved. So here there is an option that the user can delete his browser history. We need to disable this option. The user should not be able to delete his browser history. By the way, some firewall or the newly versions of firewall have it's not only a firewall, it is a firewall and a web filter, and it is a proxy. So this kind of firewall save the history of browser of browsing for every user. You can take the browser, or you can take the history of the user, or the browser history of the user from your firewall. This can be done, but actually also here is another thing. We need to have a second log or a backup plan. If I didn't be able to get the browser history of a certain user from a firewall, something like the FortiGate or Sophos, I can get it from the machine itself. So browser history must be saved. And if you enable this option, you need also to specify how much space will be taken for the history for the browser. and after that it will be deleted, so not to fill your hard disk. Okay, so we need to disable deleting browser history and download history and prevent users from changing this setting. Okay, so this also should be done. Browser history must be saved. So here enable deleting of browser and download history must be disabled, so the user can delete his history, browsing history, and he can download what his browser history activity was. Okay, so this also should be disabled. Okay, if you are in a production environment, of course. Then Edge development tools must be disabled. So what are development tools? Or developer tools allow end users and application developers, the application developers of the Edge, they have an option called developer tools. This enables them to edit web applications related data via the browser, page elements, source code, JavaScript, API. All of these are tools that the developers of, or the application developers of Microsoft Edge can use it to manipulate the browser. So this should be disabled. Okay, should not be given to anyone. Okay, so here is saying that allow end users and application developers to view and edit all types of web application related data via the browser. Page elements, source code, JavaScript, API, application, so on, so may be viewed and potentially manipulated. Manipulation could be useful for troubleshooting legitimate issues, and this may be performed in a development environment. Manipulation could also be malicious and must be addressed. Okay, let's also have a little what is developer tools in Edge. Are a set of tools built directly into Microsoft Edge. With these dev tools you are able to do the following: inspect and make changes to your HTML websites. What are Edge developer plugin? Let's see this one. Anyone can build and publish their own developer tools either internally. No, here is saying that developers are set of tools directly in the Edge. With these tools you are able to do the following: inspect and make changes to your websites. So you can use these tools to manipulate. If you have or you are hosting a website, you can use these tools to manipulate your website or HTML website, manipulating the website's data. Okay, so this is one of the things. Okay, so let's continue to disable this kind of tools. Okay, because the user can manipulate the websites he is visiting. Do not allow using the developer tools. Okay, so this is something we need to disable. Okay, it's paused. Yes, it is paused. Yes, we need to go and do not allow using the developer tools. Let me see first here if we can get the developer tools from here. It's something like more tools. Yes, here is the developer tools. Let's go there here and see the developer tools. Okay, here's something like this. Welcome to dev tools. Anyway, so these are the tools. You can use it to inspect websites. This is what we have been talking about. So we will leave it and continue. So here we need to disable accessing to developer tools on the Microsoft Edge browser. Control where developer tools can be used. Do not allow using the developer tools. Okay, now we continue with working with the other recommendations. So here, download restrictions must be configured. Configure the type of downloads the Microsoft Edge completely blocks without letting users override the security decision. For example, block dangerous downloads to allow all downloads except from those that carry Microsoft Defender Smart Warning. Remember, that the Microsoft Defender Smart Screen will warn you if there is some dangerous files that you are trying to download. He will give you a warning and block downloading the file. So this is it. I think it completes, this group policy completes what the Microsoft Defender Smart Screen is doing. So block dangerous downloads, those carrying Microsoft Defender warning. Download potentially dangerous downloads, to allow all downloads except from those that carry Microsoft Defender Smart Screen warning of potentially dangerous or unwanted downloads. So here is blocking potentially dangerous and unwanted downloads. Maybe they are not dangerous, but they are not needed or are not wanted. I don't know what he means by this, but block all downloads. So I think we will choose the first option, to set to block dangerous downloads. Let's see here what is the recommendation. To block what? Block dangerous downloads or block potentially dangerous downloads? Let me see here what is the recommendation, or what is the recommendation he's saying here. So we can, these recommendations do not apply for saving or downloading currently displayed page, nor applying to save as PDF. So he is saying that this does not apply to saving web pages or saving them as PDF. Okay, so let's see what is the option. Download link. Okay, so here dangerous, here he's saying to enable, select block dangerous downloads or block potentially dangerous or unwanted downloads. So you can choose the first one or the second one. Okay, I think we can choose the first one. Maybe this is more convenient, or you can try both options and see what the one that is suitable for you. Okay, so this is one of the things we need to go and enable this group policy. So we can go and tell him to allow download restrictions, enable, and then block dangerous or block potentially dangerous or unwanted downloads. I choose the second one. Okay, so let's continue working with other recommendations. Then we can continue working. Let's go and continue. URL must be whitelisted for plugin use. Define a list of sites based on URL patterns that can open pop-up windows. So this is a list of websites that will be allowed to open or to initiate a pop-up window. Okay, sometimes some websites initiate pop-ups as advertisements. These are blocked, but some websites open pop-ups to open a video or open a program. So define a list of sites based on URL patterns that can open a pop-up window. So this is very critical thing to do. For example, our intranet websites, our internal websites, sometimes our internal websites need to open a pop-up. So we need to allow our internal websites or intranet websites to open pop-ups and block internet websites from opening pop-ups. This is something we need to configure. We have said what is a pop-up. Okay, it's a type of advertisements that appear in a separate window. Okay, so I think let's see also how much time we have. Still here, I think we need to search here. There is a lot of group policies here, so we need to search every time. So it is saying here, this group policy, its name is allow pop-up. Okay, so I think content, maybe, I don't know, I think allow pop-up. Yes, allow pop-up. Here is allow pop-up on Windows certain websites. Here it is, specific websites. I need to enable and show and type the websites we need to allow pop-ups to be initialized by them, okay, Microsoft.com, maybe Google.com, okay, or Marvel.com or whatsoever, Marvel.com. So these are the websites that will be allowed to initialize a pop-up window, okay. So let's continue. Extension installation must be blocked, must be blocklisted by default. So we do not allow the user in our production environment to install any extension on the browser. We have said before what is an extension. So we need to disable installing of all extensions on the browser. We will do this by putting a star. Star here means or refers to as all extensions. Star here means all, okay. So we will go to the group policy and put the star in it. That means to block all installation of extensions. So let's go and see how we can do this. So we need to disable installing of extensions. Some of these extensions are useful and from verified companies, but some others are not verified and we don't know the code or the source code for creating these programs, and if they have a backdoor or if you are not trusted companies. Maybe it's a hacker trying to install an extension. Control which extensions to be done. Here we put star, show and star, and then this will disable installing of all extensions. Let's see how much time we have recorded. We have 51 minutes, so let me get this one. Extensions that are approved for use must be allowed. So by default all extensions are allowed. However, if all extensions are blocked by the setting, users can only install extensions defined in this policy. So you can block installing of all extensions, but some of them will be approved. So you can have a block list and an allow list. So in the block list you are telling him all, okay. In the allowed list, this will be exception from the blocked list, okay. So this also, we will not enable this policy because I don't need to install any extension, by the way. So we will block all extensions. We will not give any exceptions for any extension to be installed, okay. But I will show you all where to get it, okay. So here a list of allowed extensions, okay. So here we will stop at this recommendation. The password manager must be disabled. This is the minute number 3814. Hope this video is informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.